We're with Renee Smith of Virtus Nutrition here at World Ag Expo, talking about balancing your omegas, and you have an omega balancer from Virtus Nutrition. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we're really excited. We launched our omegabalancer.com app, so it's a web app, yesterday, and this is really geared for nutritionists primarily, but also interested dairy producers can do one of two things. If they have taken a ration sample of their TMR and send it to a lab to look at what all the fatty acids are in the diet, they can use that analysis to plug into our app and see what their current balance is of omega-6s and 3s. Or if they've not done a ration analysis, they can actually just take their TMR ingredients, what's in the diet, and get an estimate from what the ingredients are in the diet of what that omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is.
So when we talk about omega-3s and 6s, they're both important, right? But they have to be balanced.
Yes, and they're ingredients that they're essential to the cow for milk production as well as reproduction, and really have a significant impact on the immune system of the cow. And omega-6s are found in corn and corn silage and distiller's grain and cottonseed, and so we've got a lot of those in a milk cow diet, and less of those in a pre-fresh diet. And then if you look on the omega-3 side, that's not very common. You know, there's a lot fewer sources of those omega-3s. So if you have your cows out to pasture, she's going to get some omega-3s from that fresh grass. As soon as you cut it, it's not available in that same form. And so then, you know, less available on the omega-3s. If you're feeding flaxseed, or our Strata product that has fish oil, omega-3s is another source to help get those balanced appropriately.
Well, how important is it to balance this? How important is it to have a balancer?
Well, you know what? This is one area that we didn't even know, 10 years ago, that these diets were not in balance on omega-6s and 3s. You know, as I said before, when we had cows out to pasture, they actually had more omega-3s in their diets. And as we started feeding more byproducts in our rations because of the available sources of ingredients, we just ended up with a significantly higher amount of omega-6s. And those omega-6s are pro-inflammatory, where the omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. So really it has a tremendous impact on the immune status of the animal. And when we have too many omega-6s, we basically are wasting energy that's keeping this immune status way higher than what it needs to be.
So when we take a look at this balancer that was basically just released yesterday, as we're talking here at World Ag Expo, how easy is it for a producer to get on board with this?
It's really simple. You go to omegabalancer.com. And you can either, if you have that analysis, you can go on to the app and plug in the individual fatty acids. And when you plug those numbers in and you hit calculate, it will basically populate for you what your ratio is. And so on this one that I've done as an example, a very typical diet, it was running a 36-to-1 ratio of omega-6s to 3s. And really we're trying to get that optimal ratio of 5-to-1 or less. And so what this app does is it gives you a picture of where you're currently at, and then you can model, you can hit, with Strata, and it'll show you, if you add a 1/4 pound of Strata in, that it takes that ratio from 36-to-1 down to 7-to-1. It's a huge shift, and by shifting that omega-6 to omega-3, we're basically freeing energy up that can be redirected towards milk and reproduction.
Oh, that sounds like a very efficient tool to have. Is this something that you just download like any other app?
You actually go to your web browser and just type in www.omegabalancer.com, and it's set up so that it can work on any device. So whether you're running around with an Android or an iPhone, we're device neutral, or on your iPad or on your desktop, if that's where you're working on rations and is an easy place for you to plug some numbers in and take a look.
Well, that's great. Just released here this week at World Ag Expo. You get any feedback from anybody so far?
Yes, I've got a number of folks that are testing it out for us this week, plugging some diets in, and I think the feedback we've gotten, the most recent feedback is just that it's a really great visual to be able to get a better view of those fatty acids and what impact they have by shifting those omega-6s and 3s.
All right, the website is omegabalancer.com. This is Renee Smith from Virtus Nutrition. Thanks, Renee.
Thank you.